welcome everybody for being here, and I appreciate it. It's meaningful to me, and
Louder. Can you speak louder, Lowell, a little bit?
sure. This is, as you can probably observe, a fairly diverse group. It's diverse in lots of ways, but among the ways is the extent to which I know the people. Some of the people I've known for a very long time. There's some people here that I've just met tonight. You're all welcome, and I really value your being here. I suppose the two people that I know the longest, so I should honor, are my daughters, Amy and Lowell. And those of you with daughters probably know that it's really a rather special thing. Except for their dog.
I thought it was Amadai for a minute.
Yeah, so I do want to say how much I appreciate them. I had caterers for this occasion because in the old days I didn't have caterers. For one thing, I was more careful with my children's money than I am now. But the reason I have caterers is in the old days I would always say, I will do everything, you don't have to do anything. But I would drink and talk and they would do all the work. So if I have caterers, at least they don't have to do everything. So in any case, I very much appreciate that. I suppose the other thing I wanted to mention was that this is a kind of dual party. It's in a sense a birthday celebration or birthday recognition. It's also in some sense a kind of pre-wake. As you know, all know, I have cancer. It turns out that those two things kind of augment each other. And I know some of you have heard me talk that I guess I'm officially old at 80. I like being 80. In fact, I think if I had whatever years I have to live, I would just as soon live at 80 as any previous age I've ever been. Wow. I know this is a little hard for young people to understand. In fact, I haven't ever found any young person who believes I'm telling the truth. But in fact, I am. And there's a variety of reasons for that, because life is experience. And I can say this because even though I have cancer, I haven't yet fallen apart in any obvious way. I've fallen apart in all sorts of little obvious ways. My memory isn't as good. I can't find a tool I put down on the desk. I can't solve problems as well as I used to. But nonetheless, I think in terms of being a person, I like myself better than I ever did. There's a lot of real advantages to age.
I love you more too.
Well done.
I'm easier to love than I used to be.
Why isn't Star here?
Yeah, and I wanted to say a couple of things. 3 years ago when I had this party, there were two people here who have now passed away. One was my oldest friend from high school, David Sylvester. He came from Tennessee for the party, and he has now passed away. The other one I wanted to mention, who was here 3 years ago, was John Jen. I didn't know John Jen well, but he goes way back to when I first set up the company here. He was something of a hippie, and Louise's husband, Al Hurd, was a little more of a hippie in the department than the rest of us, knew John Jen, and he brought him out to my house when I was first trying to put this thing together. And so there was, in the early days, a few times that John and I discussed how you go about doing this kind of thing. I hadn't seen him then for quite a few years. And a few years ago, Alice, who's a potter on the property, was on the studio tour. And John took the studio tour and came down the road and thought, I've been down this road before. And asked Alice, and so he then came, and so we got reacquainted to some extent. So I have this feeling of passing, as we all do, but it has, in a sense, smartened me up a bit. Now, I may have taken a little more time to smarten up than a lot of people, which is perhaps why I like being the age I am now. But it reminds me, the two things remind me of a couple of things, and I've said this before, but I do mean it. It has made me more aware of the fragile preciousness of life, and it has also made me more aware and reminded me that although in a little while I won't be here anymore, for now I have life and the opportunity to live in a way that's useful to myself and others.